Hey everyone, if this story grabs you, and trust me, it's gonna, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's dive in. It's a muggy Saturday morning in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm standing in the driveway of our little suburban house, the kind with a cracked mailbox and azaleas that never bloom right. The air's thick, smelling like fresh-cut grass and gasoline from my neighbor's lawnmower roaring across the street. I'm rummaging through the trunk of my wife Sarah's Toyota Corolla, looking for jumper cables because my truck's battery is deader than a doornail. My hands are greasy, as always. I'm a mechanic, always carrying the faint whiff of motor oil. Then, I see it, a white garment bag, tucked under her gym duffel. I unzip it, expecting sweaty yoga clothes or maybe some old towels. Instead, it's a wedding dress, satin, lace, tiny pearls catching the sunlight. My stomach twists like I've been sucker punched. Because Sarah and we've been married for 5 years. So whose dress is this? I wasn't supposed to find it. I was just trying to get my truck running before my shift at the auto shop. But there it is, this pristine dress, like something straight out of a bridal magazine. My hands shake as I zip the bag back up. My heart's pounding like a jackhammer, loud enough to drown out the lawnmower. I slam the trunk, the sound echoing in the quiet cul-de-sac. I tell myself it's nothing. Maybe it's her old dress, kept for nostalgia. You ever lie to yourself to keep your world from falling apart? But deep down, I know, something's wrong. My chest feels tight, like the air's turned to molasses. I stand there, staring at the Corolla, my reflection warped in the rear windshield. Who am I kidding? This isn't nostalgia. This is a secret. Let me back up. I'm Mike Turner, 34, married to Sarah since we were 29. We met at a 4th of July cookout at a friend's place. Her laughing over a burnt hot dog, me spilling mustard on my shirt trying to impress her. She was a paralegal, sharp as a tack, always organizing our life like it was one of her case files at the law firm. We weren't perfect, nobody is. We'd bicker over dumb stuff. Me leaving dishes in the sink, her obsession with HGTV, my late nights at the shop fixing cars. But I loved her, loved our routine, grabbing coffee from the Dunkin' on South Boulevard every Saturday, her stealing my flannel shirts when it got chilly, us dreaming about a kid someday. Or at least I was dreaming. Sarah. She'd get quiet when I brought it up. Kids are a lot, Mike, she'd say, sipping her latte, her eyes dodging mine. I thought she'd come around. Stupid, right? You ever convince yourself someone's gonna change just because you love them? Lately, things were off. Sarah was distant, like she was living in her head instead of our life. She'd come home late from work drinks, her phone always in her hand, angled just out of my sight. I'd ask, "Everything okay, babe?" And she'd flash that smile, the one that used to make my knees weak, and say, "Just stressed, Mike." I believed her. You ever ignore a red flag because it's easier than the truth? Her car started smelling different, like some fancy cologne, not the lavender air freshener she loved. I noticed her packing gym bags but never looking sweaty. I told myself it was nothing. Work stress, maybe a midlife crisis at 34. But that dress isn't nothing. I don't go to work that morning. I call my boss, my voice shaky as I lie about a stomach bug. I sit in our living room, on the thrift store couch we bought when we moved in. The coffee table from IKEA we argued over still wobbly. The dress is burned into my brain. Satin, lace, pearls, like a ghost haunting my thoughts. I keep seeing it, folded so carefully, like it's waiting for a moment I'm not part of. I grab my laptop, my hands still greasy, smudging the keys. Sarah's not great with passwords. She uses our dog's name, Cooper, for everything. Rookie mistake. I check her email. Nothing obvious, just work stuff and spam from Bed Bath & Beyond. Then I open her Google Calendar. There's an entry for next month. Venue tour, Lakeview Manor. My heart stops. Lakeview Manor's a wedding venue, the kind with chandeliers and overpriced champagne. We got married at a courthouse, quick and cheap, because Sarah said she didn't need the fuss. Who's getting married now? I scroll further. Meetings labeled catering, florist, fitting. My hands are clammy. the laptop screen blurring as my eyes sting. I find an email from someone named Ethan. Subject: can't wait for our big day. My chest burns, like someone's poured gasoline on my heart and struck a match. Ethan. I know that name. He's a lawyer at her firm, the kind of guy who wears tailored suits and probably waxes his eyebrows. I met him at her office Christmas party last year. His handshake too firm, his smile too slick, like he was selling me something. Sarah laughed when I said he creeped me out. He's harmless, Mike, she'd said, her hand on my arm. Harmless. Right that I'm spiraling now, pacing the living room, Cooper whining at my feet, his tail thumping against the floor. I want to call her, scream, demand answers, but something stops me. Maybe it's the grease under my nails, the way I've always felt like I wasn't enough for her world of law firms and wine bars. Or maybe it's the part of me that's a mechanic at heart. Fix things, don't break them. I don't call her. Instead, I dig deeper. I check her phone when she's in the shower that night. Yeah, it's shady, I know, but so's hiding a wedding dress. There's a text thread with Ethan, locked with a passcode I don't know. But I see enough. Heart emojis. Miss you. My stomach churns. A cold knot forming, like I've swallowed ice. I check our joint bank account. Withdrawals I didn't know about. $500 here, $1,000 there, labeled miscellaneous. I'm no lawyer, but I know a cover-up when I see one. I take screenshots, my hands shaking so bad I nearly dropped the phone. You ever feel like you're building a case against your own life? I call my buddy Jake, a tow truck driver who's got a knack for finding things people don't want found. Mike, he says, slurping coffee over the phone, his voice rough from too many cigarettes. You sure you want to go down this road? I'm sure. I'm done being the guy who trusts too much. That night, I lie awake next to Sarah, her breathing soft, her phone glowing on the nightstand. I stare at the ceiling, the dress haunting me. What's she planning? And why does it feel like I'm the last to know? It's been a week since I found the wedding dress in my wife Sarah's trunk. Satin, lace, pearls, like a ghost of a life I wasn't invited to. My heart's still racing like an engine revving too high every time I think about it. I'm a mechanic used to fixing things, but this feels like a machine I don't know how to take apart. Sarah's been planning a wedding. Not with me, with Ethan, some slick lawyer from her firm. And I'm done playing the fool. That first week, I'm a mess. I'm living a double life. Smiling at Sarah over dinner, grilling burgers in our backyard, while my brain's screaming, she's betraying you. Her phone's glued to her hand, her smile too quick, too practiced. I'm sleeping next to her every night, her lavender shampoo filling my nose, but it feels like I'm lying next to a stranger. You ever look at someone you love and wonder who they are? I keep digging, though. I'm not letting this go. I check our joint bank account again. More withdrawals, $800 for consulting, $1,200 for travel. My hands shake as I screenshot the transactions, the glow of my laptop burning my eyes in the dark. Sarah's asleep upstairs, oblivious. I'm not just hurt. I'm pissed. The kind of pissed that makes your blood feel like it's boiling under your skin. That I call my buddy Jake again. The tow truck driver who's better at finding dirt than a private eye. We meet at a Waffle House off I-77, the kind of place where the air smells like grease and regret. Jake slides into the booth, his Carhartt jacket stained with motor oil, and hands me a folder. Mike, this is heavy, he says, his voice low, like he's delivering bad news about a car's transmission. Inside are bank records, shady ones. Sarah and Ethan have a joint account under a fake LLC called Ever After Events. They've been funneling money from her firm's client trust accounts, using her paralegal access to cover their tracks. Thousands of dollars. And the kicker? My name's on some of the paperwork. They've used my identity, my social security number, my credit to set up part of their scam. My stomach churns, a cold knot forming, like I've swallowed a lug nut. You ever feel like someone's stolen pieces of you didn't even know you had? I drive by Ethan's condo that night, my truck rattling like my nerves. This downtown, all glass and steel, the kind of place I could never afford. Sarah's Corolla is parked next to his BMW, its headlights glinting like it's mocking me. I grip the steering wheel, my knuckles white, the smell of my own sweat mixing with the truck's leather. I don't stop. I don't knock. I just drive. The city lights blurring through my windshield. Springsteen's Born to Run, playing low on the radio. You know that feeling when the truth is screaming at you, but you're not ready to scream back. I'm not ready to confront her. Not yet. I want her to feel what I feel, blindsided, exposed. So I start planning. Sarah loves parties. Loves being the center of attention, all eyes on her. I decide to give her one last show. I tell her I'm throwing a big bash for our 5th anniversary at the Rusty Wrench, a bar near my auto shop with neon signs and sticky floors. It's gonna be epic, I say, forcing a grin as we sit at our kitchen table, the one with the chipped blue mugs from a flea market. She buys it, her eyes sparkling with that fake smile I've come to hate. Mike, you're so sweet, she says, kissing my cheek. Her lips feel cold. I invite her whole law firm, our friends, even Ethan. Yeah, I'm playing dirty now. I'm not just planning a party. I'm planning a reckoning. The next few weeks are torture. I'm collecting evidence like I'm building a case for court. Jake gets me more records, emails between Sarah and Ethan, contracts with forged signatures. I find a receipt in her purse for a bridal boutique tucked inside a Starbucks sleeve. My hands tremble as I hold it, the paper crinkling like my resolve. I keep up the act at home, though. I cook her favorite lasagna, laugh at her stories about work, kiss her goodnight. But every time she smiles, I see that dress. Satin. Lace. Pearls. It's like a splinter in my mind. You ever keep a secret so big it feels like it's eating you alive? I'm at the shop one day, elbow deep in a Chevy's engine, when my coworker Maria notices I'm off. Mike, you look like you haven't slept in a month, she says, tossing me a rag. I wipe the grease off my hands, the smell of oil grounding me. Just marriage stuff, I mutter. She raises an eyebrow but doesn't push. I almost tell her everything about the dress, Ethan, the money. But I stop myself. This isn't Maria's fight. It's mine. That night, I sit in my truck outside our house, the engine idling, and call my sister, Emily. She's the practical one, always cutting through my bullshit. Mike, she says, her voice sharp through the phone, you can't just sit on this. Do something. So I do. The party's set for a Friday night. I rent out the Rusty Wrench, string up fairy lights, order barbecue from Clyde Cooper's, Sarah's favorite. I borrow a projector from Jake, tell him to be ready. I'm sweating through my flannel as I set up, my heart pounding like a piston. Sarah's texting me, all excited, can't wait, babe. I don't reply. I'm too busy uploading files, screenshots, bank statements, that receipt. The bar smells like beer and smoked brisket, the neon Budweiser sign buzzing overhead. Guests start arriving, her co-workers, our neighbors, Ethan in his stupid tailor jacket. Sarah walks in, radiant in a red dress, her laugh cutting through the noise. She thinks this is her night. She's wrong. I raise my glass for a toast, my voice steady despite the storm in my chest. To Sarah, I say, locking eyes with her. To love, trust, and surprises. The room cheers. Sarah beams, oblivious. Ethan's in the corner, sipping an IPA, looking smug. My hands are clammy, my pulse racing. I nod to Jake. The projector hums to life. And then it begins. What happens next? You'll have to wait for part 3. Drop your guesses in the comments. What would you do if you were me? Subscribe so you don't miss the ending. I standing in the middle of the Rusty Wrench, a dive bar in Charlotte, North Carolina with neon signs buzzing and the smell of barbecue from Clyde Cooper's thick in the air. It's my 5th anniversary party, but it's no celebration. My wife, Sarah, is in a red dress, laughing, thinking this is her night. Ethan, her slick lawyer boyfriend, is sipping an IPA in the corner, looking like he owns the place. They don't know I found the wedding dress in her trunk, satin, lace, pearls, or that I've spent weeks uncovering their affair and their scam, funneling money through a fake LLC called Ever After Events. My heart's pounding like a misfiring engine, but my hands are steady as I raise my glass for a toast. To Sarah, I say, my voice cutting through the chatter. To love, trust, and surprises. The room cheers. Sarah beams, oblivious. Ethan smirks. I nod to my buddy Jake at the projector. It's time. The screen lights up behind me. A photo of the wedding dress, spread out on our bed, glows in the dim bar. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Sarah's wine glass trembles. I don't stop. 5 years ago, I promised to love you, Sarah, I say, locking eyes with her. But you? You planned a wedding with him. I point at Ethan. The next slide shows bank statements, Ever After Events, thousands siphoned from her firm's client trust accounts. Then screenshots of their texts, can't wait for our big day, babe. The room goes dead silent, the kind of quiet that feels like a held breath. Sarah's face crumples, mascara streaking. Mike, this isn't, she starts. I cut her off. I found the dress. The accounts. Everything. I play a voicemail, her voice, clear as day, talking to Ethan about their venue. Her coworkers whisper. Her boss's face hardens like he's doing math in his head. Ethan bolts for the door, his IPA splashing on the floor. Jake steps in front, arms crossed, a tow truck driver built like a linebacker. Not so fast, buddy, Jake says. Sarah's sobbing now, her hands covering her face. Mike, I'm sorry, she chokes out. But I'm done. The crowd parts as I walk out, the fairy lights blurring in my vision. You ever feel free and broken at the same time? Like you've won, but the cost is everything. I get in my truck, the engine rattling like my nerves, and drive. The city lights streak past, Springsteen's Thunder Road low on the radio. I don't look back, the fallout hits fast. By Monday, Sarah's fired from her law firm. Client trust accounts are sacred, stealing from them is a felony. Ethan's law license? Suspended pending investigation. The DA sniffing around, and I didn't even have to press charges. Their lives unravel like a bad weld, splitting at the seams. Sarah moves out that week, leaving the dress behind in our closet. I don't touch it for days. It just sits there, a ghost of satin and lace. Finally, I donate it to a thrift shop, the pearls catching the light as I hand it over. I wanted to burn it, I'll be honest. You ever want to destroy something just to feel in control again? My house feels empty without her lavender shampoo, her HGTV marathons, her laugh. But it's not home anymore. It's just a place. Here's the first twist. A week later, I get a call from Sarah's sister, Emily. We meet at a Starbucks on South Boulevard, the one where Sarah and I used to grab coffee. Emily's eyes are red, her hands wrapped around a latte. Mike, I knew about Ethan, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. I should have told you. She slides me a letter, one Sarah wrote but never sent to Ethan. It's crumpled, like she'd held it too tight. In it, Sarah says she wasn't sure about leaving me. That she loved me but felt trapped, like our life, my grease-stained hands, our little house wasn't enough. Ethan promised her big things, fancy dinners, a Lakeview condo, no smell of motor oil. I read it in the parking lot, my truck's engine ticking as it cools. I don't feel anger. I feel sad. For her. For us. You ever pity someone who broke you? It's like a bruise you didn't know you had. I'm back at the auto shop, elbow deep in a Chevy's engine when the second twist hits. Jake drops by, his tow truck idling outside. Mike, you're not gonna believe this, he says, handing me a printout. The LLC Ever After events? It wasn't just Sarah and Ethan. Her boss, Mr. Tailored Suit himself, was skimming bigger accounts, using their scam as a front. I stare at the paper, grease smudging the edges. Sarah wasn't the mastermind, she was a pawn. I send the evidence to the DA anonymously, my hands shaking as I seal the envelope. Last I heard, her firm's under full investigation. Sarah's not just jobless, she's a witness in a case that could land her boss in jail. She called me once, her voice cracking through my voicemail. Mike, please, can we talk? I didn't pick up. I'm not ready. Maybe I never will be. You ever wonder if closure's just a myth? I'm different now. I still work at the shop, still drive my beat-up truck, the one that smells like oil and regret. But I'm taking night classes, business management, because I want to open my own garage someday. I walk Cooper past our old house sometimes, the azalea still refusing to bloom. The cracked mailbox is still there, like a scar that won't fade. I'm not the guy who trusted too much anymore. I'm not sure who I am yet, but I'm figuring it out one day at a time. I keep that letter from Sarah in my glove box, not because I want her back, but because it reminds me I survived. You know that feeling when you're not whole, but you're not broken either? That's where I'm at. Here's my question for you. Have you ever been blindsided by someone you loved? How did you pick yourself up? Drop your stories in the comments, I read every one. And if this hit you like it hit me, please subscribe. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Thanks for listening.